95% of businesses, at least in the UK, fail in their first 2 years. Straight up. So if you are new to business, it's really important that you actually focus on what matters, what the 5% do right. And I've been thinking about this a lot over the weekend. A friend of mine has recently started his business in the last 18 months or so and came to visit us in Austin, Texas. And we were talking about what his goals and focuses are. And then it got me thinking about all the stupid mistakes that I made when we first started business. So, give you a bit of context. Hi, I'm Christian. I've owned 3 real businesses: a coffee shop that was a 6-figure business, a chocolate factory, which is a 7, and my current company, a maths tutoring company, which is going to be our first 8-figure business. And so we've seen a variety of stuff, from hospitality to e-commerce and manufacturing, because we actually built it, to online services. And looking back to the coffee shop, the single biggest thing we did wrong was not doing a business. We were focusing on business plans and like, what was our coffee going to look like, and how was the seating to be arranged, what angle was the custom sofa we were going to have, where were we sourcing all this stuff from. And yeah, that's all important and it's required, but it's not the thing that will make the business work or not. Okay, so if you guys are starting a business, here's the information that I wish I had had 8 years ago, maybe 2016. Oh my gosh, 18. Yeah, a while ago. Anyway, so all businesses boil down to: do you have a product or service that people buy? Simple. If your product is so fantastic, it will sell without anything else. Imagine this. All of a sudden, you were able to obtain a Ferrari, so a £250,000 product, and you were selling it for £1,000. And it didn't dilute the market. Everyone would line up. Everyone would tell their best friend about it. They'd repeat purchase as much as possible because everyone would become millionaires overnight. Like that. No hassle, no effort. And that alone, you'd become the biggest business, the most well-known business in the world overnight, because the news would cover you, right? That would do everything else for you. If your product is that amazing, you don't need to do anything else. Now, in reality, most products of strong businesses aren't that sexy. So some of the best businesses to run are things that people use all the time: cleaning, hairdressing, funeral parlours, homes, weddings, that sort of stuff. Like, they happen, and they will continue to happen forever. So they're never going to go out of fashion. They're not a fad. But if you can make your product that amazing, that's awesome. So having a strong product, and the thing where we went wrong here was with the coffee and the coffee shop. How much are you changing coffee? Like, yeah, our coffee was the best in the city. Yeah, we had the best hot chocolate in the city. But like, it's not that different. Like, you're not going to go and rave and tell every person you meet about it, because it's a coffee at the end of the day, right? And our chocolate bars, we tried to work on that a little more, make it something even more talkable. On this one, we're just trying to get people amazing results. And so changing lives, and then that'll help them talk about it. But you've got to make sure your product is amazing. Okay, first and foremost, easy. The second one is, how do people know about what you do? Okay, now you can list every way that people can learn about stuff, and that's fine. It pretty much comes down to 4 things. There's only 4 ways people can learn about your stuff. Either you tell someone one-to-one, you tell someone one-to-many, or you have someone else tell someone else one-to-one, or someone else tell many people at the same time. Right, there's only really 4 ways. And that summarizes every type of advertising. But you've got, user-generated content, social media, paid ads, cold outbound, email marketing, SEO. The list goes on and on and on. But the thing is, you need to pick one that works, and go for it, that would make most sense for your business. And that needs its whole separate video. But you actually have to have an intentional way for people to learn about what you do. Okay, otherwise they can't buy your stuff if they don't know where to find you. The next one, so you've got product, you've got how do people learn about your stuff. The next one is actually buying it. So how do you price it? What's your money model? I'm really thinking about that a lot at the moment from Hormozi and his book launch. But like, if the product you're selling doesn't make money, the business will fail, no matter what it is. So it has to make money. And the funny thing is, I'm really noticing now where we've messed up, is you need to make a lot more money as a percentage than you think you do to weather the storms. Otherwise, you're going to be in that classic situation that business people are in, where you're scrounging for scraps whilst you're paying everyone else taking all this risk, and it's never working. And you can't scale with nothing, unfortunately. So you have to make a lot of money, otherwise the business doesn't work. Okay, so we've got product, advertising, selling it, making sure it makes money. Then we've got fulfilling it. So is that manufacturing? Is that your service? What does it look like? What does the customer journey look like across the whole way, where they come from never having heard of you to they finish their experience with you, right? So they've seen you for the first time, they've been nurtured, they've eventually bought something, they get onboarded, they then go through the process of first offer, upsell, continuity, maybe downsell, and then offboarding, right? So that's a customer success and a journey and how they're going to go about doing that. And once you have those 4 things, that's what makes a business. And if you're really focusing on anything else that isn't that, so your core product, how do people know about it? Is it going to make you money? And then how do you actually fulfill the thing? If you're doing anything else than that right now, honestly, you're probably just wasting your time. And that's where you need to focus the bulk of your effort. And so my single biggest piece of advice is make something exceptionally simple, but something people really want and use. And so you've either got making something better than everyone else does, delivering it faster, making it cheaper, that's a really bad option, or doing it with less effort, so like a done-for-you solution, essentially. Those are the easiest ways to make things that people want to buy. And once you've got something like that, great, then you need to focus on getting people to know about it, then making sure it makes you money, and then making sure that people have a good time. And there's no magic playbook I can give you. You're going to make your own mistakes, and that's okay. That's the part of the journey. That's the experience. Those are the scars you bear to hopefully one day look up from the top of the mountain and say, yeah, this was worth it. Because, a hero is made from the challenges that they have to face and overcome. That's what I tell myself anyway. Oh gosh. So there you go. If you're focusing on anything other than that right now, if you're thinking about, we don't have a bank account, we don't have an incorporation, we don't have this, we don't have that, like, at the end of the day, if you're not doing those things that make a business happen, I promise you're wasting time. And I wish I could go and tell myself that, looking back. Because, like, the biggest limiter in the coffee shop, not enough people walking through the door and not enough profit. Ta-da! The chocolate factory. We had a luxury problem where we were supply constrained until we cracked that bottleneck wide open. We managed 10x capacity, but we weren't making enough money. We're only making like 10% bottom line. And yeah, it was on like 150 grand a month, so some profit. But if we doubled our prices and lost 75% of our customers, we still would have made 3.5 times more, or 2.5 to 3 times more profit overall from the total revenue dropping by 75%. Brilliant. So yeah, these are just my basic tips I just wish I knew back then that hopefully will help you. And that's the end of my rant today. Have a great one. Lots of love.